Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be trying to diagnose yet another problem on the dirt bikes. But before we get into that, let me talk to you guys about something a little special. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you will have seen that I'm doing a giveaway very soon, and I want to go over what is going to be in the giveaway. Now, as you guys know, I enjoy cleaning and detailing my truck a lot, especially after off-road trips. So I kind of threw together like an essential starter pack for washing and detailing. So I went to Detail Garage Montclair to throw together the starter pack, and what we have in here is you're gonna get a bucket, some car washing soap, you're going to get the Nonsense Invisible all-purpose cleaner, which I will tag the video I used to clean the engine bay of my truck, which had 4 years of dirt and grime built on, and it cleaned the whole thing out. We have waterless car wash, we have a washing mitt, we have Diablo wheel gel, we have a tire stiff bristle brush, we have a wheel soft bristle brush, we have microfiber cloths, we have a agitating boar hair brush for the all-purpose cleaner, we have a wheel gerbil which cleans the wheels, gets between the spokes, it even gets inside exhaust if you have a nice finished exhaust, and we have a waffle weave drying towel. So all of this can be your guys's. Head over to my Instagram, follow it. I will be posting the rules for the contest very soon. By the time this video is posted, I believe this will have already gone live, or it will be going live that day or the day after. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video to catch my Instagram and go check out my Instagram, give it a follow so you guys can be in the loop with this giveaway. Now with that being said, let's get to today's video. So as you guys saw in the last video, I've been trying to diagnose some problems with my bike and it cutting out during idling and it not starting once it's been ran all day. But Garrett came to me saying he has a problem with his acceleration. When he's under acceleration after warming up, his engine tends to bog out and cut out completely. So in doing my research, I'm finding that the most practical reason that's happening is because of the fuel pump. Now it's either the fuel pump or the fuel filter attached to the fuel pump. So I'm gonna be replacing the fuel filter on his bike's pump and see if that fixes his problem. And while I'm at it, I might as well do mine just because it's, I think it was like $20 or $30 to buy that filter, and I'm still trying to diagnose some problems on my bike, so maybe this will just help aid the rehabilitation of this bike. Now we are in a strict time frame because we are heading out to the desert tomorrow morning. So I have to try to throw both these on as quick as possible, and I think it's already like 1 or 2 o'clock, so I don't have much daylight left. So let's get started. Now I just remembered something that might push back Garrett's bike actually. We need to drain the fuel out of the fuel tank to get the fuel pump out, but he's running race gas in his. I don't have a gas container that I can dump his gas into right now because my container is still full of pump gas mixed with fuel additive, not the race gas. So I'm either going to have to wait for him to get off work and come bring his fuel container, or I might be able to use this empty VP Racing fuel container that we got from the Mint 400 last year. I'll call him and see if he's comfortable with me mixing it in with that, because that's not rinsed out. It still has some residue and stuff in there, but for now we can just start with my bike and then switch over to his. He'll hopefully be off work by the time we get to his, so let's switch it around real quick. You guys have seen me take all the plastics in the tank out in the last video changing the spark plugs. Let's just skip ahead to once I already have the tank off and ready to go. So we unplugged the harness, we disconnected the tab holding the harness to the tank, and now we just push the 2 green tabs, pull it off, and try not to spill gas everywhere. All right, now that we have all the gas emptied out into our gas container, we have an empty gas tank here. So essentially we're gonna take this whole plate off, which pulls out the entire fuel pump, and then we will be able to access the fuel filter, which is attached to the pump. Let's get a look at how this is gonna go. So I got everything off. I put some dash marks on the pump, the, I guess, plate and the tank itself, so we can line it all up when we're done. Now, we have the fun job of trying to figure out how to get this off. It's like stuck on there. Another downside to doing this work by yourself is the banter. There's no banter right now because it's just me talking to you guys. Like, I enjoy the banter with Garrett or Bryson or something. I miss the banter with them just because, I mean, it makes for good content when there's banter, you know? Like, imagine watching a news channel with only one anchor doing all the sections. Like, weather, sports, everything just by himself. Wouldn't be very entertaining, to be honest. Dude, why is... Ooh, there we go. I don't know, it was like a suction. Oh, it's the O-rings that we got to replace. So here we'll get a good first look at it. This is the actual, I guess it sits like this. This is the bottom side that we had to disconnect everything from. You pull it out and you got the whole pump system in here, and right here on the side is the filter. So we got to deconstruct this entire pump to get to the filter and get it out, and then we have to replace these O-rings, which also come in the kit. Got to get the O-rings off. Then we have to disconnect these two wires and remember where they came from. So black's all the way to the right and red is to the left of that. Now that these are off, 3 tabs, one right there, one right there, one right there. I'm being so like, you know that feeling how you're like trying to put pressure but not too much pressure so you don't break it, and then you start shaking and fighting yourself. But now that these 3 are off, let's make sure. And that whole thing pulls right out. So now this comes out. We got 3 separate pieces here. Next they want us to remove the whole fuel pump itself, so slide that out. Work the wires through. And now we have the actual fuel pump with the filter. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, not a huge problem, but kind of huge problem. So when you're looking up the fuel filter for a 2010 CRF250R, which is what we have, it shows the whole diagram for the fuel tank and everything, and it shows this filter, and it labels it number 20, whatever it is, 29 or something, we'll say. But then when you scroll down the list and try to find number 29, it doesn't have a number 29. Instead, it has a number 26, which shows a different filter, which is this one. And it kind of looks a little more square, maybe like a heart shape. But then if you go to 2011, the year after, it shows this rectangle, and through research, we thought that in 2011 they changed the fuel pump itself and the filter location, size, and shape and everything because the 2010 just wasn't good enough. So we ordered the 2010 filter, but this is not that. So either A, they replaced, the previous owner replaced the fuel pump with the 2011, or B, our research was inadequate and this is the filter. But we went into Corona Motorsports and told them what we had, so this has to be for 2010, which means I think they did upgrade it to the 2011 fuel pump. Alright, sounds good, thank you. Alright, well, he's talking to a service guy about that. As I said before, through the research we found that 2010, I think, was the first year they fuel injected the CRF250Rs. So it was their first year of making a fuel pump and filter. Fuel pump fill filter system. And then after that year they realized that it wasn't, as is with any first year of any sort of vehicle manufacturing, it wasn't the best. So in 2011, the following year, they made a new fuel pump and relocated and did a different size and shape of the filter. So a common upgrade, I suppose, on the 2010s would to be buy a 2011 fuel filter, fuel pump, fuel filter combination and install that on your 2010. So That's what I'm assuming this is, a 2011 upgrade. But I'm calling to see if it's possible to put the 2011 filter on the 2010 pump, or if you need the newer pump to fit the newer filter. So that's what I'm calling about right now to see, because if the filters are interchangeable on any of the pumps, then we'll just go ahead and throw these ones on because it's a new filter. I mean, sure, it's not the best filter system, but it's a new one, so it's going to be better than this. And then down the road we can get this one back on, or a newer version of this one back on. If it's the whole new pump and the filters aren't interchangeable, then I have to go out and find a store that has these 2011 filters in stock. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. We'll wait for this call back and we'll see what they say. So I'm just gonna try to throw on the 2010s because he says they should fit, and if they don't, then I'm gonna have to, I guess, just ride with these this weekend. And he said he's gonna order some new ones, so if they don't work out, I can go back in when the new ones come in and exchange them. Let's just move on to the fuel filter right now. So we're gonna take this off and pray that the one we have bought fits. Okay, well, here's a better look at the older one. Kind of weird shape, like I was trying to describe. Heart, circle, square, who knows. And here's the updated one. So you can see a lot more surface area, a lot more to catch, different locations. So yeah, this other one obviously does look to be a little bit better. But I think it's better to have a clean one in a bad location than a dirty one in a good location. So, moment of truth right here. Okay, hold on. See, this one goes down and snugs this, hold on, this little spout right here. It covers the whole thing and then locks on really well. But now, when we try this one, it like doesn't quite get all the way down. Like, it's super tight on it. I just don't know if it matters if it's going all the way down or not. All right, I'm torn here. I don't know what to do. If I put this filter on and assemble it, it collides with this. But I'm thinking this just looks like a housing. Nothing's flowing through it. It's not doing anything other than put this stopper back in. It's just holding in the filter basically. It's almost acting as a housing because it sits in like that. But if I take this whole housing out, this fits in perfectly fine. See, it drops in there. The pump sits on it and everything fits. So I'm thinking maybe if I just take this housing out, it works. Okay, as far as my bike goes, I threw in the old pump, the one that came out of it, not the new one, just because if he says that I can return this and he already ordered the new one for me to come in, I might as well just not try to force anything, not try to break anything. I'll just wait for that new pump to come, or a new filter to come in a few days, throw on the right part instead of trying to break it. In the meantime, we're gonna wait for Garrett to come over with his gas can so we can check his bike and see if he has the same setup I do or if he has the actual 2010 setup. If he has the actual 2010 setup, we can throw on these new filters. If he doesn't, he might have to wait for the new parts as well. None of this can ever go as planned. If you've noticed in the last few videos, nothing ever goes to plan. There's always something, there's always a little slip up, but that's what we love about off-roading. Always got to be able to adapt. It's feeling like a straight tropical storm out here. It was just sunny all day and then randomly just starts pouring down. Anyways, I got my bike mostly put back together, just got to throw the seat back on. I started stripping Garrett's bike and I'm pretty much to the point where I just have to wait for him to get here with his gas can so we can dump the fuel out, and then we can tear apart his tank, pull out the pump and check it out and see what kind of I guess year or model the pump and the filter are. It kind of look like
kind of like, it's like sticky, that sticky shit. It's not duct tape.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why it's cutting out.
What the fuck is all over the lid?
I had an accident. That's why.
What is that? Okay.
I think we should try it.
So if we do that, then we can compare like this setup versus my setup where I left in this one, and we can see if you truly do need this piece in there. If you're running the 2010 filter, we'll get like a comparison. Okay. What am I missing here? I think that's everything.
Well, you're missing that.
Wired clips, new filter.
right.
Make sure those wires are in. And there you go. Dude, this is literally so disgusting. I'm so almost positive that this is why your bike's having problems. This shouldn't be.
Because whenever I get on the gas hard, so whenever it's flowing,
This
gas
shouldn't be.
more.
You're probably not getting any gas through this at all. There's so much like gunk in here.
That explains why it can last a while in the full tank.
The MPG on this bike's amazing. Well, maybe because it's not taking gas in. While we had the gas tank off, since it's such a pain in the ass to get off, I decided to check his spark plug since it's already there. And this boy is running pretty rich. There's a lot of carbon fouling on this dude. Somewhere down the road, we kind of messed up Garrett's bike because now it won't turn over. Okay, so we messed with the spark plug and replaced it a little bit, and it still wasn't kicking over, so we decided to rip apart the whole fuel pump again. And we're coming to the conclusion, which we still have to test, but Garrett thinks that where the fuel goes in here in the top, comes back down through the bottom, and this was pressed against the bottom because that spacer piece we took out wasn't in there anymore, so this was pressed against the bottom of the housing, and it wasn't allowing the fuel to flow through or something.
Yeah, because that hole, it was sealing that. Look, you can see the little ring. If you push on this, that's the hole right here. And it was pushed up against the bottom of the fuel pump, basically. And it was sealing it off. So this is wet as hell from gas, but it's not letting it go into the hole.
So we will test it out, I guess, when we reattach everything, put it all back together, and try to turn it over, and we'll see if it works. Okay, we've tested the spark plug. There's spark. We put the old filter back on. All the wires are connected, the harness, the fuel line, everything.
Did you just freaking Neil Armstrong this thing or what?
What does Neil Armstrong have to do with anything? Louis Armstrong? Oh! Oh!
Thank you, Lance.
No, it's because the shroud wasn't tucked in. Gas.
I think so.
Okay. You want to know the part, as happy as I am that it's running, the part that I'm most upset about
Is that it's
the fact that I ripped both bikes apart, I think in total 3 or 4 times today, just for them to be exactly how they sat when I started. Yeah. And I'm going to have to redo it all once the new parts come in. Other than that, at least we know how to do it, and you guys know how to do it now too. So, to sum up, the only thing, to sum up the past, how long have I, what time is it?
6:30.
I think I started working at like 12 or 1. So to sum up the past 6-ish hours, I did absolutely nothing. I took apart the fuel pumps 3 different times and changed absolutely nothing, but I know how to do it. I know that the 2010 filters do not work on whatever this construction, I'm assuming a 2011 fuel pump is. So don't try it, not gonna work. We will be receiving our 2011 filters sometime next week, and we will swap them out and get our bikes running better than they are now. And we'll just bite the bullet on tomorrow's ride and try not to get stranded in the middle of the desert. With all that being said, thank you for watching the video. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment. Again, go check out the Instagram because I will be posting the giveaway on there. Any closing statements?
This is deserved after not getting anything.
Okay. We'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.